there's more ways to make money than just like I'm a naked person running through the street buying options and roll the dice. Okay. And I really do apologize. I was talking to my brother. He's getting out of the Marines right now. And he's really sad he's getting out this year, but I'm not. All right. So, uh, anybody have any questions before we get started? I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share this account. This is my large account. I got 3 accounts. So I got 3 accounts. This is my larger account of my 3 accounts. So I'm going to share the screen. Do not be creepy and talk about my blockbuster stock and don't talk about, this or that or whatever. We're just going to go over the basics of how to buy a stock and how to sell a cover call. We're selling hopes and dreams and we hope that people fail. But we do want the stock to go up. This is a bullish position, just so you know. But you could play it as a bearish position. If you think the stock's going to go down, you sell your options in the money. So there's a book out there. It's called The Options Playbook. You can either buy it on Amazon or you can actually Google it and you can read it for free, but I like books. I've read that book many times. I fell asleep like 2, 3 weeks in a row reading the chapter on what's called the Greeks, which is the Greek gods, which talks about the options. So I encourage everybody to know what the Greeks mean, the thetas, the deltas, the vegas, all that kind of stuff. But for selling covered calls, the theta and the delta are the most important because theta eats and we reap is the way because you're an owner of the actual stock itself. And so we'll dive into this. So let me just do this. All right, hold on. Share my screen because I'm not shy. All right, so here we go. This is my. Am I on? Check, 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 check. Okay, everybody in. Click, 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 click. Look, 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 look. Okay. Um. So one thing. Okay. Fuck Robinhood and whatever the fuck it did because that was some bullshit. They took my shares. I hate them. They got exercised. You'll see I have 0 shares of Robinhood. That was bye bye. They're gone. But it happened. That's okay. It does happen. If you're not careful, I was watching it, and even though I had $69 cover calls, these got called away. I don't know why, but I guarantee we pumped Monday. Absolutely, because who would actually like exercise less than $69? Oh, this is what I invest in right now. Overall, year to date says, boo, boo, this market sucks. Don't care. I don't care what I have and what I don't have. What I care about is how much money I make per week doing what I do. Because even though if I own a stock for a loss, like take a look at this piece of shit right here. I got one for you. It's called MSTR. See this piece of shit right here? I own this thing, this terrible turd since 181. Okay, so imagine you buy 400 shares of stock, which you can actually see what I bought it at. Hold on, do that. View trades. You can see that I bought 300 shares at 199 and I bought 100 shares at 126. I might buy another couple hundred shares at that price, somewhere between the two. But you'll notice that I don't really care that I'm negative 24,000 equity on it. Why? Because I'm killing it. Their volatility, which is if you look at this, it's really great. Um, I'm making about like $1,200 a week off of it. Long hair don't care. I don't care what the stock does. If I make money off the stock, then it doesn't matter what the stock does. And that's the beauty of owning a stock versus selling a stock. Now, like, let's take Tesla, my baby. Um, so I bought this thing, this beautiful beast at 218, 212, 302, and 405. 405 was probably a bad idea, but I did it anyways. Okay. So um, I bought this stock and I got this one short term. I got 3 long terms. Now that's important for tax purposes. If I want to sell, I'm selling the oldest first, which is 218 per share at whatever the price is right now. But what you'll notice on this is that um, on Tesla, so I'll kind of give you a situation where I have right now. All right, so if I look at Tesla and it's at 361, right? The first thing you have to understand when you buy a stock, and you need to watch it, and you have to study it in advance to understand that this how much a stock moves. Now that does create the volatility in what the stock is. But if you understand that one, Tesla does not move more than $10 per week. It will spike, it'll go to 20, it'll come back down. It does it. It just does it. You have to learn how to predict that. Now on Tesla, which was really weird and whacked me out, is that they actually have options multiple times per week. That really threw me off for a little bit. So guess when I sell options typically is on a Monday because I want that theta to eat all damn weekend. That's key. So on Tesla, I typically sell options on a Monday. Not in this case, but typically because I had to roll up and out. And I wish I didn't because I would have saved myself a lot of money. Now, this cover call right here, you can see made me $3,475. I'm in the game. See that? Sold it for 9 something. It's worth 99 cents. Do I care the stock went down? No, I don't. Don't care. Don't care. I made money off the stock just simply not going to where it went to. Do I wish that Tesla went to 380? Absolutely. Would have been excited because I got 400 shares of it. So you have to think about the delta. So when you're coming in as a naked buyer and you're buying an option, imagine a stock doesn't move all day. Imagine a stock stays completely flat all day. Who's making money? I am. And the reason why is because I love nothing better than I your goal as a stock owner is to sell cover calls, let's say $5 over whatever you buy it at. And the stock literally only goes up like $1 a day. It's beautiful because the theta eats while your stock is gaining money. That's pretty much the gist. Um, IBRX, I heart this stock. I had 3,000 shares of this. I'm down to 1,000 left because I'm just taking profits off of it. Now, a safe stock, and then we'll get to questions after this. This corn thing right here is fucking Mike P's idea. Don't fucking ask me. I don't fucking know. He just said, "Hey, buy this," and I'm like, "Okay, 1,000, got it." All right, so and don't ask about Blockbuster. We don't want to talk about Blockbuster. Uh, but yeah, that is Blockbuster. That's how long I've been dodging, diving, and ducking. I own that stock. Blockbuster. 17 cents per share. So I've been trading that long. Now I kind of diversify when the fact I got materials, but whatever. But okay, so IBRX. This stock is crazy cool. They cure cancer, but Not in the US according to the FDA, but they do in other countries, but not according to Lilly, who pays the FDA. I think that's going to be hot on it since 2.8. It says 7.2. All right, so let's take a look at. I got ADHD. I'm sorry. So let's take a look at. I have this PLTR. It's kind of cool. So PLTR, I've had since $20, 68 cents. I actually had like 3,000 shares originally, and I sold some. I bought Carter's ex-girlfriend a car, bought her a purse, things like that. Took her around the world. Then I came back and I sold some stocks, and then which that's an inside joke between me and Carter. And so that's kind of how I came up to begin with, was this stock, because I knew what it did, because I knew Peter Thiel, met him as I worked at PayPal, and I met Elon um, way back before I even knew who Elon was. I was like, fucking weird ass dude with this comb over. Um, so I bought this stock because I knew what it did. This is Skynet. Eventually, because him and Tesla and Peter Thiel used to share the same bathroom, shake hands while they peed. Eventually, they're going to get together and make robots that are going to kill civilization, but not today. So I bought this stock since $20, especially when Kramer said he didn't believe in his stock. So I've sold some off and I've bought some since that since then. Do I regret this one? Yeah, kind of do. But here's what we'll take a stock that because not everybody can buy 100 shares. 100 shares is important to actually reap something from it. So you could take something like, let's see here. Let's go with the masses. We'll take, no, let's do something cool. Let's do APLD, not corn. Dumbass. Might P. All right, APLD. All right, because we were talking about this in chat. So here's APLD, which is $25.50. All right, so you buy 100 shares of this stock, which costs what? $2,456. That's a lot of money. Yeah, you could probably like buy 0 TEDs and elemental Ps and 1 days and whatnot and 1 week out options, right? And you know what? You're a consumer. I'm a seller. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell you your hopes. And so what I would do is I would buy this stock at 24.56, and I do it right now in front of everybody if the market was open. I would buy this stock because we're not trying to swing for the fences. We're just trying to hit a line drive. That's it. You make a little bit of money off the premium of selling the option, and two, the stock goes up. That's why I say it's a bullish. This is a bullish idea. It's all bullish. Like my brother, he has 4,000 shares of UVIX. He has covered calls on them right now because he knows UVIX is going to dump. It's not going to hit his level, which is right here. It's not going to hit $9. If it does, cool. He's made so much money week after week selling cover calls on UVIX. And I'll show you the UVIX on that in a minute. So let's say I buy 100 shares of APLD. Now you have to think as a seller. If you're going to sell a hope and a dream, what? Look at that. That's April 10th. That's 7 days from now. That's $100 off the fact that there's no way APLD is going to $27 in 1 week. Because when you look at the charts, it doesn't even match up. And I got to go over here because I got this new chart thingy. And this is where charting matters. So we got this, and it did this, and it did all these great things and whatnot. But let me go back to the 10-day. Okay, so APLD moves like $4, maybe. Like here's the high right here, way back here. And then it went down and it dumped and it hit 20 and it's come back to 24. Is APLD going to really push this? I mean, we see this mark right here. So this makes this trade right here, $27, pretty dang safe for $100. Now, if you do that every single week, because this is just 1 week, which is not like, imagine if you sold this Friday, right? Not only is the theta going to eat them $14 per day, but it's free money. There's no way if it hits 27, cool. You bought it at 24.56. Do you care it hit 27? Now you made $300 off the shares going up, and on top of that, you made that money. You made the premium of $100. So it went up $300 and you made $100. $400, walk away. Because the thing is about stocks that a lot of people get confused with is that we do not marry stocks. We trade them. I have no intimate connection with any stock that I own, just like you guys do. When you buy a naked put or a naked call, do you care what the stock actually did other than go your way? No, you don't. You're not going to own it. I don't care about these. I care about the stocks that I own that like my PLTR because in my Tesla, those are the two I love. So I always bet way outside the money. Yeah, I don't make as much profit as I could if I sold close to the money, but these stocks right here, I would absolutely buy APLD at 24, which now it's probably up higher than that. It's probably close to be 25 by the time it opens. And I sell a cover call for $2 later. Okay, so I make $200 and plus $100 in premium. If it gets called away, I don't care. Now, if I do care, so let's say we sell this. Let's say we sell the 106. That's the bid, right? So let's say that the stock goes to 27.50. We're scared. Woo, scary. Now we've been eating $14 per day since the time that we sold this. You know what? The house never loses if you're paying attention. So on Friday is my most active day of actually doing trading. Monday and Friday. That's it. Everybody here looks every single day, every single minute, every single second. I don't because I don't care what the market does because I already made my money. I predicted what my gains were going to be on Monday, and then I protect my gains on Friday. So in this particular situation, let's say the stock does hit 27.50. We roll it, is what it's called. And I roll it for the next week to what? Look at that. I roll it up and out, $1 or 50 cents. You can't take my shares unless I decide to give. I decide when you take my shares, or I wasn't paying attention. Because you can't exercise your contract in the middle of a week, no matter what the price is. If you're in the money, deep in the money, it doesn't matter. Like, for instance, let's say Tesla here, or MSTR. That's a good one. No, wait, I don't have any that are close to the money right now, do I? All right, so let's take, gosh, I wish I had one in the money right now. Take PLTR 155. So right now it's hitting at 148. All right, I got 155 calls for April 10th. So I take these and I would roll it over, create a rolling alert right there. And so as you can see that I would actually gain another 170 or $47 per contract, which is only 8, but I'd actually, I got 10 that I could sell. I mean, that's $1,000 a week. I'm not doing anything, and it's 155 versus the price right now, which is at 148. So when you get close to the money on Friday, that's when I'm most active because I'm looking at here is me, and then this can be me, 155 right here. Now, some people do these cover calls based upon monthly. I like weekly. People say, why do you like weekly? I think it was the guy who sounds like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. What's his name? I can't remember. But anyways, so I always go weekly. It's not a lot of money, but it's money weekly that I don't have to pay attention to, and I don't care. And you now for you gamblers out there, yes, you could sell this, and then you could take the money because the premium you get up front. Like when you sell a cover call on, like, let's say APLD, yes, you could buy APLD, you could sell the premium for $100. You could take that $100 and you could buy SPY zero TEs or whatever and gamble it off. It doesn't matter because they gave you that premium up front. It's your money. But when it gets called away, it gets called away. You can't just get married to it. And so yeah, that's kind of what I do. Now this turd right here, oh, God, I hate buying this thing. Look at this. Like I got it at 28. Um, yeah, so from 28 to 14, yeah, I don't like this. It sucks. Am I selling premiums on it? No, not yet. But could I? Yep, absolutely. Watch this. So if I wanted to do D-Wave or QBTS, now I usually look for a couple different things when I sell cover calls or when I buy a stock. And I told Mike P about this. I was like, find me a stock that Okay, I'm back. Okay. So here's a classic example of SOXL, which me and Wooksy we owned when it was like $10 or $11 per share. Um, kind of embarrassed I sold it. So like nobody has. I mean, if you do have enough to buy 100 shares, $5,275.50, right? So if you have that and you buy 100 shares, selling 100 shares, 100 shares. So you're making $200 per week per 100 shares off the stock possibly hitting $55 per share. So imagine the shares go up $300. You made literally like $300 plus the $200 that you sold your cover call for. That's 500 bucks a week, all day, every day, and no matter where the price goes. Now, when people say, "Well, if you're losing money on a stock, or if you have money on a stock, do you just sell the stock?" No, as an owner, you do not sell the stock. I have never outright sold a stock that I own. And the reason why is because why sell the stock when I can collect the premium and let the stock go at a certain price? So if I owned 100 shares of SOXL, I would sell a cover call at $52. Why? You're like, why would you do that? The stock's 52.38 because I just collected $350 right off the bat on 100 shares. The stock would have to go like up here to make me regret my decision. But you know what? I took profit. So when you see a lot of contracts that are in the money like this, you got to be kind of nervous. Look at the volume on these things versus over here.
Yeah, Spade, you never share your screen again, man.
I got to share it again. Damn it. Hold on. Let's see here. Here. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we're all here. All right. Good. So if you buy SOXL at 52.75, I'll let everybody jump in this and look. Um, yeah, I would not like if I bought SOXL, let's say Monday morning, let's say we're all just predicting that the price is going to remain the same because obviously the market was closed today. So we're just going off of like it's Monday morning, stock market opens. If I buy SOXL at 52.75 per share, that's $5,275. I do not expect everybody to have that kind of money, but if you did, you could sell the cover call at 55 right there. And then you make $210 off that. And if the stock goes up to 55, then you get $55, so from 52.75 to 500 to $55, you multiply that times 100 and that's your profit plus the premium you took up front. You put in your pocket, in your wallet. That's awesome. Now, if the stock happens to hit 55, now you're like, oh my gosh, you're looking at your account and you're negative, between 210 and oh my gosh, I'm negative $40. Whatever. You own the delta. You are the delta. That's the thing that people forget is that you are the delta. All these things, I mean, unless the stock goes like, I mean, think about this. This is 0.65. I mean, we understand what delta is. You will always make your money by rolling it. So if it hits like, let's say 56 bucks, because I'm not going to expand this thing out to like 100 strikes or whatever. So let's say it does hit 56. I don't want to sell it. But now I'm negative. If I roll to the next week, that's it. I make profit again. As long as you keep rolling up and out, up and out. That's why I do weeklies because I want to have the control of understanding it. The market's going to go up and down in a week. This is not a completely, especially in this market, as we've all experienced. This market is wildcat. It's up and down every single day. And you know who hates it? Not me. Because every single week I'm like, oh my gosh, my cover calls in the money. And I'm like chewing bubble gum. Like, I don't care. It ain't gonna stay that way. Like my Tesla was like sky high and then it dropped. I made profit both ways. I still own the shares. And that's the thing, that's the hard part. And that's the hardest thing I have to teach people is do not panic. You cannot panic when you're selling cover calls. Because if you do, you do things like, oh, I'm going to just buy my cover calls back. No, don't do that. Don't buy your calls back. Wait till Friday and see how things shake out. Because this cover call right here, 380, yeah, it was in the money at one point. We saw it. Tesla went crazy. I sat there. I was like, oof. I was like, and then, you know, I was like, it's not going to stay that way. Another tweet, another news drop, something like that. This is not my first time I've traded in this administration. Trust me, this is going to be wild for the next 2 years. Absolutely. You know, and that's where I came up. I was trading in 2018, 17, something like that. Well, obviously earlier than that, but I started option trading before that. It's going to go either way, and you don't know where it's going. Now, if I wanted to be like my homeboy, tempted. Yeah, I could buy $1 million in options in a day. Just throw it all on black. Black 13, go ahead. But you don't do that. You just, and then, and by the way, my balance doesn't reflect the fact, you know, when you're looking at my numbers here, that I sold the 700 shares of Robinhood on Thursday, which I'm still pissed off about because I don't know how a $69 cover call gets called away at 68 bucks, but you know what? That's an argument between me and Schwab one day. Um, but it's I'm interested in whatever stocks you guys are looking at. I would say the things to look for is, does it have high volatility? Does it have high theta? That's what you're looking for. Everything else, like even Nvidia, you're like, why don't you own Nvidia? I'm like, want to. They suck. Like, yeah, I want to slow crawl through a week to make like 50 bucks. No, I don't. I like the things that are like crazy. I want them to fluctuate. That's why you get Tesla. It just fluctuates so much that the volatility stays high enough that, yeah, you just sell it safe enough. And you have to understand how much the stock moves in a common week. You just learn your stock. Now, does anybody have a stock they want me to look at? Anybody? Come on, dudes, don't be shy. Oh, wait, where are these mentions? You guys, oh, you're typers. Okay. AAP, okay, boring. Yeah, Apple is boring. Apple is very, I fucking can't stand Apple. Hold on, let me look. So, okay, MVTS, that's a good one. Hold on, let me look at that. APL, let's look at that one first. And I'll tell you why I fucking hate this stock. Apple. So you're spending a lot of money. I mean, within a certain, you know, week, because we only look at weeklies. I don't look at like hourly minute charts or whatever. I look at the dailies. As far as this thing, in order to be safe and keep my stock and make some money, I mean, maybe 260, but I mean, you're only $5 outside the money. I mean, Apple could say like, we created the new, it's no longer the Apple, it's called the Newton now. Um, yeah, no, I'll do Meta too. Actually, I kind of like Meta. I kind of like Meta. I'll explain that because I reviewed that with my brother because we were talking about that because he recently bought, what was that stock that he bought? And it got called away and I laughed at him. I was like, you weren't paying attention? He's like, I thought it was Friday. I was like, no, it's Thursday, dumbass. Um, but that's a good one. Meta's a good one. I actually looked at that one. Um, but like on this one right here, you're looking at $5 that the stock will go. So you're spending $25,000 to buy 100 shares of stock, and you're gonna make a buck 50. Like, ew, brother, ew. No, nobody wants that. I mean, is this where you want to be when Jesus comes? Making him $150 off $25,000? No, no, absolutely not. The key is volatility. Yep. All right, so let's look at tinted MVTS. I'm kind of curious about that one too, actually. MVTS semiconductors. All right, this is a little bit fire. Now it's $8, right? It's $8 per share, so this is a good entry point. Like if cause look at the volume right here. Now $4, ew, ew, gross, ew. But you know what? What I would do with this particular stock is that if I could buy it at 880, and this is called a quick flip. You know, you see that on HVT or whatever. Um, so I would buy this at 880 and I would sell a cover call at like 950. So if it goes to 950 or it goes over 950, or even if I sold it at 9, right? Um, mm, it's like you get, 20 cents per share, but you made 35 cents off selling the cover call. Um, Not my jam. I mean, if you're looking for charts of how the stock is going to go, I don't look at that. That's why I'm terrible. Like if I play a naked put or option, that's why I'm here because I suck at time. Um, Naked options. I typically play like TQQQ puts. I'm protecting my downside over a weekend because who knows what's going to get tweeted, you know? And I'm tech heavy. So that's what I typically play when I think that we're going to do that. Don't drop that dump to dump. Don't drop that dump to dump. But I wouldn't do NVTS. But let me show you Meta. Now Meta's expensive, and that's why, jeez, criminy. Meta is, whew, my goodness, it's sexy. Don't get me wrong. I like this. Look at this volatility, 58% based upon a decline of 580 from 574 with a theta of $85 per day. You're melting. Yeah, it is sexy, but it's damn expensive. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is one that I was kind of scouring. So I'm going to liquefy pretty soon on a few things. I'll probably sell some PLTR. Probably going to sell some Tesla because when the new IPO comes out with the spacey thingies and stuff like that, I'll probably buy into that too. But not right away. And why is because every IPO that we see is overbought. overvaluate it and it goes crazy and then it comes back down. So I'm gonna wait like a week on that spacey thingy. I mean, I did buy Google at one point at $100 per share when it first came out. I sold my PayPal stock to do that because everybody thought it was shit loads of bananas. Kind of led to my termination from PayPal, which I thought was racist. Or is that racist? No, it's stoxist. Stoxist. But I knew what I was looking at because, I knew PayPal or Google before they were Google. Um, but no, I wouldn't do MVTS. No, absolutely not tinted. And the reason why is because the return, the ROI based upon weeklies is not maybe, but there's so many other stocks out there that you could do that are for the same price that you can make money off of. Like, I mean, what a junk stock, but maybe it might be something someday. But I mean, the volatility is there, but the theta's not there, for what you're selling. I mean, yeah, it's like 17 bucks. So you're getting like less than 10%. I'm looking for more than that. Like when you look at this, that's kind of sexy a little bit. I mean, look at that. $100 based upon $2,400. That's what I look for. I'm looking for that. This is hot damn. That's what I was saying is like if you have the capital to buy a stock, you buy the stock that has the volatility and you buy the stock that was going to pay you the premium monthly and weekly. That's 1 week. Right? Oh my gosh. Where are we at today? You wanted to go way out. Let's say you want to do 1 month options. Like, look at this thing. It's freaking disgustingly beautiful, man. 100 shares make you 250 bucks a month. That's 10%. 10% per month. Look at it. It's right there. So you buy the stock and then you make 10% per month that it goes to 26.50. Look at that. Oh my gosh, my stock went up and I made $200 and I made another 250 bucks on top of that. That's 450 bucks a month. Not scared. I like that. A couple other ones that I've had my eye on are SMCI. Ooh, brother. Ooh, no. Um, Gotta delete that actually. But GameStop. This is what happened to GameStop. This is why it's not hot. Okay. GameStop is not pumping anymore because it doesn't have the volatility it used to have. I mean, if there was enough volatility because they had less assigned shares, this thing would be hotter than like dog shit in a summer day on a porch, but it's not anymore. The Let me take a look at BBAI, no, AMD, AST. Let's look at something that people can buy. No, not DJT. Um, it's not my jam. SoFi. Somebody asked about SoFi. I think it was Dave. All right, so SoFi, mm, pretty good for the price because you're looking for this number right in here because you have to understand now Dave would know what the movement looks like to predict how much up or down this thing would go. Now, if it's at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. So this is where I kind of fell in love with this Discord. It wasn't because I didn't have money and I'm trying to make money and blah blah blah. I fell in love with the fact of the education. Okay, I didn't even know what in this Discord. I had money. I made money. I already got money. This is my third account. What I didn't understand is how to read a chart and what to look for. And daily, like when you look at Bollinger Bands and when Dave, and you have to go through his classes, you don't look just minute, you don't look day, you look week, weekly. And you have to understand where your stock is at and where it's going to go, where it's going to bounce. And you see, like if you look at the weeklies and the dailies, you want to see it had 2 days of bounce off the bottom Bollinger Band. Then I sell a cover call to the middle Bollinger Band because if it goes past that, I may profit off the fact I bought it at the bottom. Now it's coming up. And if it goes up, I made the premium and the stock went up at the same time. So on this particular stock right here on SoFi, I didn't even pull the chart up yet. Lunar? Okay. We'll take a look at Lunar. But on SoFi, look at the volume on this thing. Holy shit. That's crazy. 12,000? Make me put my pinky finger in my mouth upside down. That's actually kind of cool. Look at that. People think that's going to pump. Um, yeah, 18 bucks. Yeah, that's about right. I mean, it's $18 off 15 bucks. I mean, well, per share. It is. That's a curious question. I don't know if I mess with SoFi. I mean, if you want a passive income, then yes. I mean, that's $1,585, to make 18 bucks per week, per 2 weeks actually. It's $36 a month, but I wouldn't buy SoFi. It's just because it's different. I mean, I would buy that naked for 18 bucks. Shit, absolutely. 2 weeks? Yeah, I'm sure it's going to get there. But, to own the stock and actually sell the option for this doesn't calculate for me. Trying to find another one that's kind of lowish before we get to Lunar. I do like Lunar though. This one's kind of sexy. My P turned me on to this stock. And I do it every once in a while, but I don't do it all the time. Like I'm willing to buy it, sell the cover call, let it go. Because look at the gap. I don't like the gaps on this. See this bid and the sell? Don't like it. Ew, not a fan. Because it's a $15 gap. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna sell it to this guy and all of a sudden you're negative because this is what your price is between these two. You're already negative off the sell. And that's at the money almost. So, oh, eh. You have to go out on this one. I think it's like a month or something like that to make it worth it. So like if you buy it at 21, so that's 2,000 something. I mean, people don't have $2,000. That's not the way I started anyway. So I don't really do that one. So I would say, what's this, D Pro? Oh God, Jesus Christ, that thing looks ugly. Oh, Hail Mary, full of grace. Um, sound is pretty cool-ish. If you want to quick flip, you could buy this at 675. You can sell a cover call at 7. And you say, well, why would I do that? Well, because you bought it, it went up 25 cents, and then you made $21 on top of that. So you made a little bit of money, but I wouldn't do that right now either. I don't even know what ONDS. I don't even know where I got that from. That's probably another Mike P thing. GoPro. Ew. Gotta get rid of that. Roblox. I haven't looked at this one yet, but nope, wouldn't be interested. Volatility's kind of low-ish. It's a quick flip. I wouldn't involve in that. Everybody's talking about BATL lately. Take a look and see what this looks like. It doesn't have any options. Awesome. I would never buy that. Go ahead. Suck off. Um, Lunar. Let's take a look at that. LUNR. And in case anybody's wondering, where am I? Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah, I do sound like David Spade. That's why I got the name. All right. So, Lunar, I like for $23.99. I like it. I like this a lot. This is kind of my range of things I look for. So Monday, I'm going to buy 1,000 shares of Lunar. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how corn does first. But yeah, I kind of like this. And the reason why I like this is because right here, $25. It's at $23.99. What's the charting on Lunar? Is it at the lower? Oh, it's at the higher. Oh, so okay. So let's say Lunar's at the higher Bollinger Band. Thank you for chiming in. Because I don't chart. That's why I'm here. So let's say Lunar's at the top of the Bollinger Band. Look at this sucker. Look at this thing right here. It's sexy. All right, so I could buy this at $24. I take $170 per share profit right off the bat, and if it drops to below 23, I take all that profit, even though the stock goes down. But look at the delta, it's 0.63. I'm not going to lose that much. Do you see how the covered calls can actually like offset your losses? You can sell it in the money if you believe it's going to go down. You can sell it, outside the money if you believe the stock's going to go up. But this is actually a pretty good stock. I don't mind this. And look at the volume at different levels because first thing about Wall Street, options at even numbers. You'll always see the 23s, 50s, and all that kind of shit. They don't like that shit. They don't care. Typically, the people that sell at those levels would be like people that don't care it's going to be there or it's not going to be there. I mean, most of those people are going to get burnt. What we're looking for is that, look at that volatility, 117%. Woo, woo. I like that. So Lunar, yes, I would buy it and sell it. I'd flip that thing like I was on HDTV. Give me another one. Put that on the chart, drag that thing up. Beyond Meat. Remember that thing used to be like amazing. Now it's a turd. Nobody cares. But during the pandemic, Beyond Meat, oh my gosh, it was pumping. And nobody cares about you, so go away. Okay, we got it. Go. Oh, risk call. Nobody cares. There you go.
I think space is gonna be the one that's gonna be more volatile with what's going on with SpaceX and stuff. All others are garbage. On the list I have.
I think, what was that? The one with the satellite phone. Who was that?
ASTS, right? I checked. It's
Yes,
okay. It's okay. It's
ASTS.
90. It's 92. So that's the problem. It's 92. 92 is if you have the cash. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
But
there it is. Yeah, God, I
it's
regret
okay.
selling that. Yeah, I regret selling that. But yeah, ASTS For volatility reasons, yeah, it's a good stock. It sells, but I mean, if you think about it, that's still point 0.5.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Lunar, to be honest with you. Like I mean, I could buy it, but for my bang for the buck, I could buy how many shares of Lunar and make the same monthly or weekly, and that's what you're looking at is what is it going to cost you to hold the shares or buy the shares, or even APLD would beat this, you know,
Hmm.
for what you're going to pay for 100 shares. If you bought 300 shares, it's going to make you about the same profit as this one would. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not, I mean, there's going to be some stocks that's going to be, you're going to get like a higher premium per week. But if you had more of a lower stock that would make you the same premium, it doesn't really matter what the stock is costs or what it's worth or whatever, because you're flipping. You're a house flipper. Like in this particular scenario, yeah, I would buy 100 shares at 92, or maybe I don't know. I'd probably do 500 on this one, and then I would sell a cover call at 95. I don't know where it's at on the Bollinger Bands at this point to decide that, though. I'd have to research that because where is it at actually? ASTS. I regret selling this thing. I think I had it at like it was
It's
it was super cheap, but yeah, it's got some bouncy.
it's
It could hit.
reaching. Yeah, it's not fully there. It's reaching up. If like it's on, it's not. Yeah,
Yeah, the 78 would have been amazing.
yeah.
I would have been peeing myself if I had it at 78 and it jumped up that high, and I'm like, oh my God, I'd be rolling up and out, up and out, up and out every single week. Or was it? Okay, we'll take a look. I do like ADX. I might pick them up on Monday. But I would only go in 100 and then maybe average down if it came back down. But I do like that one. This one's nice. I like this one. Rocket Labs. Huh. What's the what? Where's it at on the charts, Wooksy? Is it middle, high, low? This is kind of interesting. But yeah, on this particular one, I mean, so you look at this price and you look at this and you say, is that so $70 compared to $67? That's $300 that I would gain if I sold a cover call and it got called away, plus the $240 premium. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, that's gonna bouncy. The upper band's right there. I see it. Your yellows. Oh, you got the same colors I do. That's weird. Creeper. Um, yeah, yeah, I would probably do that. This would be solid. It's nothing that I would get rich off of, but it's something that I could, you know, uh, if you look, um, because I'm not like a look at the volume on this one right here, $70, $500. That's $500 a month. That's almost 10%. And if it dropped, or if I thought it was going to drop, then I would do this because I would take my profit up front in the fact of $730. So I take $730 up front off 100 shares. If the stock drops like to, I mean, even if it drops to 66, I already made my money. Then they could just take it. I don't care. Or if it goes up, then I roll up and out, up and out. But you got a month to figure that out, where the stock's going to go. You own the time when you own the shares. You decide where it's going to go and where it's not going to go. You only lose money when you decide to lose money. That's the biggest thing. So if I bought this particular stock, if I felt in a situation like Wooksy's saying, is that it could drop, but it can rise, it's sitting right there. It's kind of a bearish trend. If I bought the stock at 67, I would sell a cover call, and you could even sell it in the money as deep as you like on the fact that it could drop. And of course, as we know, Delta rules the world. So the deeper you are in the Delta, the more you're covered on what you're selling. So it doesn't really matter. But I kind of like this one. I'm going to keep this one. Who runs the world? Girls. All right. And then what's the next one? Looking back. What's this one? HYMC. Yeah, you know me. Let's see what this one looks like. Let me think. I like the volatility on it. That's actually pretty good. I mean, if you think about this stock right here, okay, is $36. I mean, that's you're putting in 3,600 bucks. Okay, we'll just talk in like $100 terms. But look at this. That's kind of. I don't like the gap. Look at this gap. Ew. I mean, it's cool to see on a girl, but not on the stock. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at this thing. It's $50 gap. Ugh. But I do like the volatility on it. I mean, if you go far, damn, it only has now. All right, so let me lay this out there. So, I normally only do. It looks like this is a monthly. No, wait, what is this? A quarterly? No, I don't do quarterly options. I just don't, because you lack the flexibility. Now, okay, corn. I bought corn. They do have quarterly. So the reason why I bought 1,000 shares of corn is because, and I'll show you right now. So here's corn. Yay. Fuck you, Mike P. So I buy these thing. Let me show you why. Now this sucks. This is horrible. I just bought it because Mike P told me to. You know, I felt like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. So I bought corn. And everybody said, "Oh, corn's gonna go out of control now." But if you don't plan to sell it because it's a commodity, here, $20. So that's I can make 10 options. That's $1,000, and if it hits $20, then I would. No, I don't really have a minimal delta, so to speak. Usually, what I'm looking for is about 5 to 10% per month. If I can make 5 to 10% per month off your actual ownership of a stock, think about this: the S&P only goes 8% per year. If I can make 10% per month, I beat the shit out of the S&P. And it doesn't matter what the stock did. That's it. eventually stocks always go up. They always do. There's no such, you can't find me a market, can't find me a date in which in a 5-year period that the stock did not go up. It always does. Once it's established itself. Oh, MU? Absolutely. Now you got me curious. 366. Where's the volume? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's more attractive than a lot of things actually for 366. I would shed 100 shares of Tesla for that. That's not bad actually. Because look at this theta per day. Oh my God, you're eating kids. I mean, not literally, because I'd be creepy as shit. But yeah. Damn. Ugh. That's fucking wild. Yes, absolutely works. Because that's what I'm trying to like. What I'm teaching is part of something that else you have to learn, like the Bollinger Bands and the moving and all that kind of stuff. That's really important. Because like I said, you don't want to buy the stock at the top and you're selling cover calls. Yeah, you could make some money off that, but your stock's going to drop. And then you're just selling cover calls to just trying to recuperate the money that you lost off the actual stock. MU, I don't know what they make for anti-Viagra, but I'm kind of liking that. Hold on. Where is that? I got to put that thing in here. MU. Shit, it's already on my watch list. Okay, that's Monday. Monday idea. But yeah, you don't like here, look at this. That's a mistake. I'm negative $24,000 on MSTR. Why? Because I bought the bitch. That's why. Now, have I made money the entire time while it fell? Yes, absolutely. Because I sell hopes and dreams and I crash souls. That's what I do. Because I sell cover calls. I sell the hopes that some now keep in mind now it feels dirty that I sell a cover call and people buy it and then they think like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be rich." But you have to understand that you didn't screw the first person. By the time that cover call comes back to you because it didn't get assigned, because it didn't like go to the moon, it's changed hands more than an escalator rail. Okay? At least 2,000 people have touched your cover call before it comes back to you. So you can't think, and it gets, because I had one friend who's like, "Don't you feel guilty that you're selling cover calls and it's not going to go there?" And I'm like, "No, that person had a dream, then sold it to another guy that realized that wasn't his dream, who deca and deca and deca and deca and deca. And then I got this last clown who bought it for like $5 because he thought it was gonna pump or whatever at the last minute and it was gonna make money and it didn't. It's not my fault. But I guarantee the first guy I sold it to is not keeping it, ride or die. Unless you're Tinted. No, I'm kidding, Tinted. I love you to death. I mean, Mike P would, but um, so yeah, it's that's what you're doing is that you're selling cover calls. Now, if you own a stock for a profit, you have the luxury of deciding when you want to let the stock go. That's the beauty of it. So like this Tesla calls right here, if Tesla pops, you see I got 5 days on this right here. See that? If Tesla pops 380, let's say it hits 385. I'm going to roll 3 of those contracts and I'm going to let one go. Why? Stock went up. I made money. Let it go. He wants 100 shares, he can have them. Because why? Because buy other things with. Same with PLTR. If PLTR hits 135 or 155 in 7 days, I will sell at least about 200 shares. Why? I've owned them since they were $20 a share. Do I care? No, don't care. Because obviously we'll never get back to $88 on PLTR. I have 1,000 shares. So let it go and buy other things. That's how I started out with 3,000 shares of PLTR and I built this. Let it go. We don't marry them. We trade them. Right. See what Wooks is saying? No, 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 no. So nobody can take your shares until the contract expires. Period. It's not possible. Nobody can exercise early. I mean, if they do, they're an idiot. But I've never, I think one time I've actually had somebody say they called my shares away in the middle of a week. And it actually worked out for me. But it's not, I've only seen it once. But typically, you just have to pay attention on Friday because I sell weekly. Yeah, structure is a big deal. So yeah, you know, full disclosure, I didn't come here poor looking to get rich. I came here rich looking to understand how charting works and how all the mechanics that goes behind because I paid for an education. I did a lot of, I followed this guy and this guy and this guy I knew from high school and he was paying money for like stock puts or stock inputs and stock things and whatever, buy this stock and at this naked call or put or whatever. And I probably would say that I paid like at least 20 to $30,000 in an education of losing money. And then I bought a book and I read it. And then I started buying stocks and I got lucky. It is luck. Then, like I said, my starter was PLTR. I mean, shit, I own fucking Blockbuster, bro. And actually, only Wooksy would know that I had more shares of Blockbuster than this. And he's going to be upset right now. Yes. Dave, I sold some shares of Blockbuster because I had purposes. It's, I know, okay, so anybody who's never seen my account before, I had 750,000 shares of Blockbuster. I had to sell some because the IRS told me I should. And so, yeah, Blockbuster video. So here's how I got locked up in Blockbuster. I'll explain this story. All right. When I first started trading, I knew a guy who actually knew how charting worked. And so he said that and I kind of saw it before I actually did it. If you buy Blockbuster on a Monday, by Thursday it would fall. So I would buy Blockbuster on a Monday, and then Wednesday I would sell it, and then Thursday it would fall. Then on Friday I'd buy it again, and it'd go back up. So I shuffled a lot of money through Blockbuster, just weekly trading. You know, um, you can see I own Blockbuster at 17 cents per share. I actually have Blockbuster A and B. The A's are gone, but so I had almost the same amount of shares in Blockbuster A. Um, so when people would show up and scan their Blockbuster card, I didn't have to do that. I would just show up and say, "This is me," and they would just give me whatever I wanted. Um, now I my we didn't have cell phones and apps at the time. So you'd have to go home and log on to a computer to actually like trade stocks. It was really weird. I mean, we were dinosaurs back then. But I couldn't get to a computer. I didn't know what was going on. And then Blockbuster filed bankruptcy, and then boom, stock dropped. Just fell out. Um, so, oh, the candles. Yeah, there's candles are kind of important. Um, you got your hammers and you got your anvils. I mean, they are kind of important to see where the pattern's going on a daily market. If you're looking minute to minute, I don't do that because I don't have to. That's why I say it's like, when it comes to day trading as far as naked options, I suck at it. Don't care. Yeah, I don't pay attention to hammers, where they're going, this and that. But oh, how you lost that much on my cover call? One cover call? Okay, if you lost that much on one cover call, you're full of shit. Okay. I would say, hold on. Let me look. I'll break you. First of all, I would say this post is bullshit. Um, and the reason why is because, all right, long hair don't care, dude. Um, Something is wrong here. Okay, so if you lost that much on your cover call, right? I mean, okay, so I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. Hold on, I gotta look this shit up now because I'm like, how? How does that happen? Like, you fall asleep at the wheel in the fucking middle of a desert? Like, what? Like, that's not even possible. Okay, so let's take this guy right here. One, I mean, he's got to have at least 10 cover calls. He's got to be, what? My break even is 172. Oh, yeah, you fucked up, dude. Yeah, you must have been AFK for like a week, 2 weeks, something like that. Oh yeah, it's absolutely fucking rage bait. This dude is a clown. That's not even possible. I mean, he'd have to be like at least like, oh, I'm $5 inside the money. Okay, so all right, look at my screen. Let me show you what it is. It's rage bait. Christ, this fucking idiot. So what I would do if I was an idiot, is that you can save yourself from yourself. So let's go back here. All right, so oh my gosh, I lost something. All right, so let's say that he's here. We got to go with this number. My break even is 172.25. Okay. 172.50. All right. 20. Okay, that's not even a number. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, so we'll just say here. Let's say he fucked up and he did something. Okay, if you take this, all right, that's $310. You're in the money. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, I don't know where you bought your stock from, but obviously it went up in price. Delta matters. You're 100% of the delta. So his stock went up to at least higher than 172. Okay? Duh, it's at 175. Oh my gosh. Oh no, you lost money and you gained money at the same time. I'm gonna do my hands. Okay, so oh my child is coming. What, dude? Are you hungry? Just order sushi. Go pick it up. I don't care. All right, so let's. He's too much sometimes. All right, so now here's how you fix shit. Okay. Now most people would think, all right, in this situation, all right, we don't know what Apple would do. Okay. Or Nvidia. So I would say because we don't know what Nvidia is going to do, I would not do anything crazy. Okay? Because if Nvidia drops, then guess what? You're going to lose money. So what I would do in this particular situation of what 172 is I'd roll it to 172.50 the next week. And you say, why? Well, if the stock drops, and there's a lot of people that do this, that sell cover calls, they roll inside the money. If the stock drops, now you go from a 71 delta to a 70 or 75 delta to a 71 delta. Stock goes up, then the next you roll it up and out, up and out. But if you don't know where we're going, which we don't know right now because this market is ridiculous, you keep even. If I feel, but imagine the money is paid for by the stock, which is 100% delta, pays for the roll. Now you have a new floor. Does that make sense? Because if my stock goes up $300, right? And oh no, it cost me between this and let's say I want to roll between 172.50 to 175, $200. I already made that on the stock. I don't care. You create a new floor by rolling it next week up and out. 250 bucks. Who cares? I had to explain that one to my brother because we were talking about UVix and his 3,000 freaking UVix that he has. I'm like, who cares? So in that particular scenario, if I was in that same situation, and I've been there before, trust me, especially with like Tesla, it would come around to Friday and I would see that I was negative on the stock, but I was positive on, or I was negative on the option, but I was positive on the stock. It happens. I mean, but sometimes it doesn't. So even though Tesla dumped, I didn't care. I made 256 bucks. Don't care. It literally dumped like 20 bucks, but I still made money. Don't care. This fucking turd right here is pissing me off though. Negative $24,000, but I still make each week. Yep, gonna make that. Sold these cover calls for $329 each. Times 4 is 1,200 bucks. I'm gonna make that. If it goes up to 130, oh, that's awesome. Love it. roll it. If it breaks, why wouldn't I be upset? Why would I be upset about that? That's how you do cover calls. It's the opposite of what you think is logical when you buy naked calls and puts. You don't mind. You want the stock to go up. But if you think the stock's going to go down, like if Tesla or MSTR are at the top of the Bollinger Band, I'm selling cover calls in the money. Why? Because I'm going to take the premium because people are buying, like, who buys premiums in the money, right? I'm going to sell the premium and it's going to drop. I made the money even though the stock went down. So this looks like $23,000 loss. It's not. I've made my money in the short term. So by Monday, this margin balance is going to show zero. Why? Because this fucking turd shit motherfucker right here. I keep cursing on Good Friday. But I'm going to take that money and I'm going to take 100 shares of this and I'm going to take maybe 100 shares of. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's. Yeah, I think that that's a good chart on Tesla. But the thing is with Tesla is that um, it's a very volatile creature. All these lines can happen within like that yellow line in a day. I mean, you're talking to about a guy that owns like the third largest social media platform ever. The most awkward motherfucker I ever had lunch with that I didn't even know was Elon. He's fucking bananas. Absolutely. I thought he was just another person that was an employee, honestly. That's how it happened. I was like sitting down eating lunch in the cafeteria and he pulls up his chair and he sits down at the table and I'm like, he's like, so, and this is, I think it was my ex. All right. So funny story. So PayPal used to be X.com and everybody has their opinion on how, whatever happened. So originally when Peter Thiel and Elon Musk created this payment platform online. It was called X.com. It had one building in Omaha, and it had this other place in Nebraska that was their other thing that they had where people would answer phone calls and whatever. But the building in Omaha was creating the buttons that people would put in their auctions on eBay, and we were pounding it. Now, cool story. PayPal was losing about a thousand. No, wait, was it 1,000? No, no, it was like $1,000 a minute because they had a deal at the time where if you referred a friend, you got $5. So people created bots that would actually create PayPal accounts. So we had this black belt project, is what it was, um, where we created what today is called the site password. Elon created that. So when you go to a website and you have to type in what you see, he created that, sold it. Then he create what's called the lock and key. So you don't get a spam email unless they have a key to get into the lock of your mailbox. He first shoved it out to Yahoo and then it went to Google, as they created things. This dude's created so many things that people even heard of. And so I didn't know who the fuck he was because I'm just sitting there eating lunch. And it's my second or third year there. I can't remember. And so I'm sitting there in a cafeteria. I'm just eating lunch. And all of a sudden, this weird dude, scrawny ass motherfucker with this comb over, sits down at my table He's like, "How long you been working here?" And we just having this conversation about what's to do around here and whatnot and whatever. And all of a sudden, I get swamped by all these motherfuckers who realize that he's in a building, I guess, retro. And I'm like, and they're like, and the next thing you know, I spent 3 days of meetings to ask me detail to detail what him and I talked about before I realized who he was. Didn't know him. Just showed up. Like, I don't fucking know. What did you talk about? What is this? What is that? It's a fucking crazy story. No, no, literally, like I would say that if Meg Whitman did not buy PayPal within the next 2 months, we would have been bankrupt. The payment platform would have been gone. It wouldn't exist. Now, cool story is that if you go to a website and you put in your credit card information and you see that there's certain things, even though you don't see PayPal as a payment, you'll see PayPal there. Everything is processed through PayPal. It's called a ghost account. They're logging your visitor ID. You log in and you pay for who logs in your computer and pays for something, you're connected. They can see it. And that's when after I went from customer service into fraud prevention, working with eBay, I started to see a lot of that. Like if you go to eBay and you say the word Russia on a message to a seller, they know. Or anything that seems weird. There's keywords. So yeah, I was at PayPal from almost the genesis, but that's where like when people were like weirded out that he named Twitter X because he already owned the domain. So it didn't cost him anything. X space, X.com, X this. X.com already existed. The reason why he changed it from X.com to PayPal is because at the time, back in the old days, before people had canes and crutches, is that X was kind of like related to things that people wanted to see on the internet. Then Meg Whitman told PayPal that you're going to cut off all ties with those particular type of entertainments in order for us to buy you. And that's what we did. I was there for that one. Now, the cool part about working at PayPal was that we got donuts on Monday morning for free. And then I think it was Fridays, we got bagels. All the bagels, like you could literally take a basket of bagels back to your desk and eat them all or take them home or whatever you wanted to do. Sodas were 25 cents. Put 1/4 in the soda machine. Boom, 20-ounce soda comes out. Everything was subsidized. It was a crazy environment. And Peter Thiel, the first time I met him, he was in cargo shorts on a skateboard going down the hall. It was fucking nuts. I was like, where am I? I'm like, what is this place? It was literally Silicon Valley just coming to the middle of the West. Bananas. Oh, yeah. Elon is, I would say if you've ever had somebody that looks at you and talks to you, but you feel like they're looking behind your head, that's Elon. If I had to describe him in a nutshell. Like I'm talking to him about the College World Series. I'm talking about the Omaha Zoo, which is the #1 zoo in the world. And the College World Series coming up in June, which my son, I'm flying him back to go attend that. But you're talking about all these places to go, and then I even told him because I met the man, and it's not a brag or anything, but I know Warren. I've met him a few times. He doesn't know my name. Hell no, he doesn't know my name, but I know where he lives, and I've seen him a few times because all you have to do is go to the right places at the right time in Omaha. Um, but so I told him, I'm like, oh yeah, you should go to Casio's on Sunday night because that's where Warren goes. I mean, absolutely, that's a stop list. And he's like, oh really? He goes, Warren goes there. I'm like, yeah, yeah, Sunday nights, 6 o'clock. He's got his own table. Also, the McDonald's that Warren goes to, I know where that's at also, which is close to the College World Series Stadium, which is close to the airport. He used to walk over there. It's a very small town. And so, just casual conversation, like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden later on, I'm like, I feel like I'm being interrogated by the Reich of PayPal as to what did you guys talk about? And I'm like, holy shit, who was that guy? That was him. But yeah, it's literally like somebody looks in you in the face and they're like talking to you, but you feel like you keep wanting to turn around to look to see what they're looking at. That's Elon. Odd, odd person. So he built a rocket. I'm like, fuck, I don't doubt it. Probably did. So that's all I got tonight. Um, oh my God, it's 8 o'clock. Anna didn't even join us. Disgusted. She gets the shame. All right. Any questions on any stocks that we have not talked about? I would love to look at them. Not because I'm greedy and I'm going to buy them Monday morning, but just kind of curious. I just want to hear Dave again. Dave.
Thank you. I thought you were going to mention a stock. That was a cool story, though. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Absolutely, man. That's one of the crazy stories. Like my son doesn't believe it, but yeah, he's like, "What? Tell my friends about that story." I'm like, "Dude, your friends would rather me like call them up and do like the fireworks stand from David Spade versus me tell you about Elon."
I
And he's
believe
gonna,
you. I
yeah,
believe you. My boss, his friend literally interviewed for Tesla when they were too young, too like early days. So Elon would interview personally, and the guy was a dev and was being hired as a principal dev in the company. So
yes,
Elon personally interviewed this guy. So the story goes that this guy spent 2 hours of Elon's time and ultimately didn't take the job because he didn't like Elon. And Elon was not happy about it. He himself wrote a big message. You are the CEO of Tesla, imagine that. But
yeah,
no, you held a grudge to a small principal dev and wrote a message, an email to this guy saying how he wasted 2 hours of Elon's time and didn't take the job offer. I'm like, I don't like it. What am I gonna
yeah,
do?
yeah.
Like
Elon,
you're yeah.
he's a crazy character. Like, honestly, I think if I talked anything about business and I knew who he was, um, I would not have climbed up 3 promotions in 2 years. Um, it was even though that he sold the company to Meg Whitman at eBay at the time, um, you know, he wrote something in one of my reviews that indicated that he loved the fact that I did not talk about what I could do or what I was or who I was or what I've done. Even though I came from Ford Motor Credit at that point, and he was like, he just wanted a casual conversation. That was it. and I just happened to be there before anybody else realized that he snuck it through the back door. And I'm just like, don't eat that. That's disgusting. Stuff like that. I'm like, this is where you want to go eat. This is where you want to go. This is where, and that's what I was known for. But he is a definitely odd person. Like you can't describe like until you meet the person or meet somebody. If people ask me, is he autistic? Absolutely, he's autistic. Absolutely, just bananas. But is he intelligent? Yeah, he is. But is he picky? Yes, he is. But is he crazy? Probably, but he's more autistic than all those things, and that's what makes him different. He's just different, and I just didn't care. I'm having lunch. That's all. I was like, hey, don't eat that shit. That's disgusting. Okay. What do you do around here? Okay, you go here, you go here, you go here. Oh, Warren Buffett hangs out here. Casio's. Oh, yeah, he goes to Nebraska Furniture Mart too. Yeah, he bought that thing. That's pretty cool. Oh, he hangs out over here too. I mean, that's pretty neat. He was just kind of just a curious animal at the time. Young and skinny with a comb over. That's all he was. I mean, I didn't know who he was, and that was it. But I left that and I joined an agency, and that's where I'm at right now. And I'm gonna retire pretty soon because I'm done. I'm done. I mean, I don't really have to work today. I mean, honestly, I could sell cover calls and I could live off the income every single day. I'm not going to be as rich as, Sparky, with a pontoon boat living in Florida, like, but, um, uh, pretty close. Because, when you buy a share or 200 or 100 shares of stock or 200 shares, you create your own revenue. It's passive. You don't care. And so it would break my heart that when I saw that Tinted lost money, $32,000. I'm like, oh my God. Tell me you got something to show for it because I've lost $21,000 on a stock, but I can actually show you how much money I made off that $21,000 loss. Don't do that. Don't be sad about it. I don't cry because I know that on the way down of losing money, you have to understand what your capability is. I mean, just go to the casino, put in a slot machine, let it go, or go to black. Don't even play blackjacks. If you go to a casino, let me tell you that if you go to the casino and you want to play odds, the best odds in the entire house on a casino is craps. You go to the craps table and you see, okay, that's another story for another time. But if you play the pass line on the rollout and you play odds behind the pass, that's like 68.7% odds. You're gonna win. It's better than blackjack. You can't beat it. That's why when you go in a casino, you'll only see one or two craps tables open, million slot machines. It's because they lose money on the craps tables, they make it up somewhere else. It's slow, it's tedious, just like cover calls, but you will always make money on the craps table with pass line and odds. Period. So you put $5 on the pass line, you put $10 on the odds, and you'll make money every single time. Everything else is a lure. Everything else is designed to make you lose money on a craps table. But if you just do that all night long and drink your free drink, um, you will walk out and walk away with $300-400 at the end of the night. And everybody's like, "Well, that's $300-400." I'm like, "Not that you didn't have before. If you did that every night, that's $400 in 10 days. Are you sad? Or 4,000?" You paid for your hotel room. So, yeah, I'll so this next week, because Wooksie's wrapping me up, I think. So this next week, what I want to do is I kind of want to do the call outs that we saw. I'm gonna drag those and drop those because I kind of want to see. I I do want to see how these play out. So RKLB, and then what was the other one that we saw today? I'm gonna buy these. You think I'm crazy, but I'm not. Kinda, sorta. What was the other one that we saw that was really good, promising? You had another one. Yeah, Lunar. Yes. I'm gonna buy that. And I'm gonna, as soon as I buy them on Monday, I'm gonna show you how I played them, so that way we can do a class on Friday. And I used to do this every single week, by the way, but I kind of, now that we got new people here, I probably should do that again. But I'm gonna drag that down here to the bottom of my list. And we're gonna buy these two stocks so I can show you how this works. Beep. SoFi. Dave loves this. Dave, what is up with SoFi? You want to talk about this? I mean, do we need intervention? Because obviously you love some SoFi because you mentioned it like 3 times tonight. I told you, SoFi. Jeez Louise. I mean, I might buy the stock, but I do actually sell covered calls on it. It's ooey. Come on, man. Stay away from it. Ew. I mean, you could play options on it, but I would not do SoFi as far as selling cover calls. It's just, yeah. The volatility and the premium's not worth the price. The other two are, but like, look, I got it saved right here actually already. But yeah, I mean, eh, for 15 bucks, I mean, yeah, you make if you want to go out to April 17th, it's still, it, man, that's tough. I mean, if you sell it at the money, I mean, $15 for 16 bucks, I guess, but that's still $1,585 to make 65 bucks. That's a tough one. So no SoFi. Go away. We're gonna have to do the other two. I would say out of these two, Lunar is probably the most attractive for 23 bucks. Just because that right there, man. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at it. It's right there. 124 bucks for like $2 if it goes up 2 bucks. Or you could sell it into money. Man, that actually looks more attractive. If I buy it for $23 or $24 and I sell a covered call at $23, I get 250 bucks right off the bat. And if it drops, then long hair don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you got to think. You have to decide what the price of the stock is, and if you're at the top or the bottom of the Bollinger Band, which is not my session, not an expert, but you decide where the stock is going to go. That's why I'm here in this Discord, is to decide and try to figure out where my stock that I'm going to buy cash is going to go. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Where's the bands? Where's the charts? All that kind of stuff. Because I don't really care. And so, when I trade short term naked stocks and all that kind of shit, I suck. I lose 70% of the time. I'm worse than tinted. Guarantee. No, no, wait, hold on. Retract. Um, I don't risk as much as Tinted, but I'm worse than Tinted. In the fact that I always lose on buying naked options, but on covered calls, I always win because I'm the house. That's the biggest thing. Be the house. Don't bet against the house because you're not taking anything that somebody else, like, oh my gosh, I lost my stock. Things been, you licked a escalator rail and you picked up somebody who got something for a penny and sold it to you for a dime. The original seller didn't lose anything. He already rolled it. He don't care. Yeah. I made great money on SBet for a little bit, but SBet was SBet. So we'll do it again next week. So I'm gonna buy these two stocks. I think I'm gonna go 500 shares of Luna. Up, man, RBXL. Maybe 300 shares on RBXL, and we'll take a class next Friday. I'll show you what they did on Monday. So I'm gonna buy the stock at open or before open or in the AM or whatever. I can't buy them right now because we're like super closed, but I'll buy them early in the morning and I will sell the cover calls at open and I'll show you what that looks like. And so that way I can explain like what I did and then you can see it. I'm going to sell the cover calls for Friday and you can see how I made money or how I mitigated any kind of losses. Whew, that would be that would actually be pretty amazing if they do that. I would never sell cover calls on Pepsi at that point. Pepsi is another stock that I have. I only have 200 shares, but if you look at the dividend quarterly on Pepsi, that's why I keep it. Even though I got it for a profit, I got $5,000 profit on it. I do not